Hi guys, today's video is going to be a love forecast for the week ahead. This is going to be a general reading, it's not for one specific sign, but what I will do is pull some cards for a bit of context. You can see if this applies to your current situation, and then at the end I'm also going to pull one of these Angel Love Oracle cards for a bit of extra advice from the universe. So I'm going to start off by picking 3 cards that kind of sum up the situation, what's already happened, and kind of where we're at this point in time. So we're just going to get 3 cards. Here's, we've got Justice, we've got the Knight of Cups, and we've got the Chariot. Okay, put those over there. Okay, so Justice, Knight of Cups and the Chariot. So what I'm kind of seeing here, I feel like Justice represents you. This is someone who is looking for fairness and balance, looking for the right time to act. And I think quite often in romantic situations we have a preconceived idea of what we think is right, and you know, we think when we meet the one we'll just know and it will be the right time and you'll just know, like you know, there won't be any consideration. So it's almost like you with this person and you kind of waiting for the one, and you weren't acting on kind of finding that person. It may have been that you kind of weren't actively dating, or it may have been that you were dating and you were being sort of quite picky, and you know, no one was quite right. So you just wanted to maintain kind of that sense of independence and just not getting too involved at this stage. And then we get the Knight of Cups. So this, you know, it's literally a knight in shining armour. This amazing person is coming, you know, offering this lovely full cup, you know, on a white horse, a real saviour, a real romantic, the kind of person that you'd meet and instantly be like, wow, this is it, this is the one. You've gone from, you know, waiting for the right time to act, and then this person's probably kind of made you think, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Normally I'm not into reversals in meanings, however this one did come out in reverse, and it's kind of giving me the sense that this wasn't who they truly were. You know, it might have been a case that they were doing a bit of love bombing, or, you know, lying about certain things and not being truly honest about themselves, about their intentions. Just, they're more interested in the pursuit of you, because we then get the Chariot, which can also be like moving quickly. In this instance, I think this relationship probably did go extremely quickly and moving fast, so to speak. And it might have been that you felt it was a little too fast. Perhaps you felt out of control. Perhaps you felt, you know, like the wheels may come off. If you ever see any films about chariot racing in sort of the Roman times, it was very dangerous and they were going at such speeds. They weren't truly in control. Like one slight movement could throw the whole thing off balance, the whole thing could topple over. And yeah, I get the impression that this moved extremely quickly. You've gone from this person who's waiting to this person who, you know, you've not even got any reins on your chariot. It's kind of out of your hands almost. So I'm going to pull 3 further cards now. So these are kind of your current energy, where this has led to. Oh. 3 more cards. And this guy has jumped out, so we will listen to that. Okay, well that's nice. 3 more cards. Okay, so the story's kind of changed here. Got the 5 of Cups. And this card is showing loss. Like, this girl obviously is pretty devastated. She's got these 3 cups on the floor, everything's spilled, and she's sad. And she's focused on this right now. And I feel like, you know, perhaps the past situation that we just talked about, it has left you sad because you've kind of gone from being this independent person to being, you know, just out of control in this dynamic that isn't what you expected it to be. At this time, she's very sad about it, but as you can see, there's a lot of things waiting for her when she's ready. There's a whole new life. There's cups that haven't been spilt. Next out is strength, and this usually portrays an inner strength, and you finding that inner strength. And it may be that, you know, you've been left pretty devastated by this guy, and you're now finding this healing, this inner strength to come back from it. And you were sad, but you know that, you know, you're better than that. This got this knight in shining armour. It's kind of undermined everything that you thought you kind of stood for, everything that you had worked so hard to get right. And, you know, it's okay to feel, you know, sad about that. You know, it's deception, and you've been vulnerable. You've invested in someone or something, and, you know, you're bound to feel, because you've had this, you know, incredible person, it's moved fast. I feel like it might have gone, it might have fizzled out, you might have seen the truth. You're allowed to be sad about that, but you're now finding the inner strength and self-belief to come back from it. We've also got the Knight of Pentacles, and this is a card that represents hard work and being at the start of the journey. This guy, you know, he's got his empty fields and he's looking out over them. So he's going to get to work. He's just got a lot to do. And this could represent you. You've got a lot of work to do, but you kind of know what you need to do. You're looking out over your fields, which can represent kind of you reflecting on the situation, you healing, and you making sure that you don't go through that again. It could also represent a new person coming in. Obviously this Knight of Cups was a person, so it could be that this Knight of Pentacles is a person. It might be that they're a lot different, you know. They're coming in a different manner, but look at all this land here. It could be that this person's coming in to build something from scratch. And, you know, over a long time as well, they've not got the instant, you know, that chariot energy of rushing into things. Like, this is a blank canvas, and we're going to move slowly, and we're going to build from scratch. So there are two ways that I'm kind of interpreting it, depending on your situation. You know, take which one is more relevant. But ultimately, it's, you know, it's a row of the situations improving. You're healing. You're starting again. Be that you're starting again on your own projects. Be that starting again with a new person. The Ten of Pentacles also fell out. Normally I'd put it back, but it seems pretty keen. So that's like an extra bit of reassurance from the universe. It's like a card of happy endings. It's like, you've got like a perfect family with all generations. You've got pets. You've got, you know, this solid structure and all these pentacles. This guy here is also holding a pentacle. So I kind of get the impression whatever it is you're starting here, this is going to be your end result. You just got to keep the faith. So yeah, let's draw 3 more cards for how this is going to pan out for you in the future. And, you know, if you keep working on your inner strength and whatever it is that's on this blank canvas, let's see where it goes. What lies ahead? Okay. So we've got the Four of Swords, the Hierophant, and the King of Pentacles. Okay. So Four of Swords is kind of a card of just resting. You know, he's not really doing anything. He's literally just resting. He's not actively trying to achieve anything. And I think sometimes when, you know, you have been through something, you may try and force yourself to do things. You may try and force yourself to heal. You may try and force yourself into a new dynamic with another person, and ultimately it's not good. So this card is suggesting that taking some time just to do nothing can be very beneficial. Obviously, you know, I don't mean literally do nothing, but in terms of romance, etc., not forcing things is great. And it could be that you're literally just going to take some time away, you know, if that, whatever it, you sort of started in the Knight of Pentacles energy, just taking some time to focus on that and not investing your energy into a relationship. It could be if this is a new person that you're not forcing it, you're just sitting back and watching and seeing how it goes, which is never a bad idea. Then we've got the Hierophant. So this is like a card of structure and organisation and rules and having to do things a certain way. So I get the impression that whatever it was that you were following here, whatever kind of rules you'd set for yourself, they're gone. You know, you've realised that they don't work for you, and you've had them in place, you know, because you've either wanted to keep yourself safe, or you thought, this is what I need to do to meet the perfect person. And now, after everything that's happened, you're like, okay, that didn't work. I did all that to protect myself or to not waste my time, and this guy came through and did exactly that. You might be realising that you need some new rules, you need a new way of doing things. But either way, something's gonna give, and it may just be that you follow no rules, or it may be that you change the rules. But this is kind of learning from experience. And then finally we've got the King of Pentacles. This could represent a person, it could represent your kind of shift in mindset. So this is someone who's like secure and reliable, which obviously, you know, in a romantic partnership, great, that's exactly what you'd really want. It can also be yourself. This can be you knowing your worth and your value and upholding that for the future. You know, you have your own needs, your own requirements, and you bring a lot to the table, and this can be you recognising that. So either way, you know, it's not a bad card by any means, it's a good card, and it kind of shows that you have grown a lot, and it may be that you've grown into this person that's kind of said, these are my rules to keep me safe, to this person who said, this is my value. And you know, it's sort of upholding boundaries as well. And boundaries, you're not saying, you know, this is a rule. You're saying, this is what I want and what I'm worth. And it's a just mindset shift, really. You know, when you are looking at rules, you're creating certain circumstances by controlling them. When you're in your empowered kind of energy and you're setting boundaries, you are saying, this is acceptable and this is not acceptable, and the other person is free to choose, and you will act accordingly. And it's, you know, even the throne situation, it's like you've gone from this kind of uncomfortable stone seat to this, you know, embellished throne with luxuries. You kind of come out of it completely opposite to how you went into it. And, you know, that's not to mean that it's not been difficult. It's not to mean that you deserved it in any way, shape or form. But the transformation that will take place is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to draw one of these Angel Oracle cards now, just for a quick message. So, quick message for the person this reading applies to, please, cards. Oh, lovely. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And I think that's a really sort of good message to take away from this, because it's very easy to become pessimistic when you have been through these kind of situations. Obviously positive thinking and waving a magic wand isn't always that easy, but this healing stage that's come out at the end is where, you know, this is going to take place. So again, it's obviously someone's been through something, and it's not an instant reading of, wow, it's going to become amazing, but it is a reading of, you know, taking time, doing healing. Everything's going to be so much better at the end. So thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, comment, just do anything really. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you next week.